It was a rainy morning in a small town where the streets were almost deserted, and the gray weather seemed to match the feelings of many of its residents. Emily, a young employee at the local hospital, was sitting in her small office, looking out the window, watching the raindrops slide down the glass. She was a big-hearted person, always willing to help, but at the same time, she had a silent dream of being able to do more, to impact the world in some way. Her life was not easy, but she knew she had something special inside her: compassion. Emily had been working as an administrative assistant at the hospital for about 2 years. The job was simple, but she was always looking for something more to do. When the pandemic hit, the number of patients increased, and the demands on the staff became even more intense. But what Emily felt deep in her heart was something that many of her colleagues couldn't understand: the pain of the families visiting the hospital, the suffering on the faces of children, and the stories of struggle that touched her soul. On an ordinary day, Emily received news that would change her life. A 6-year-old girl named Clara had been admitted to the hospital with a rare disease that required an expensive treatment, which Clara's family could not afford. The girl's mother, with tears in her eyes, was talking to the doctors, explaining that she didn't know how she would manage to get the money needed to save her daughter's life. Emily was at the reception, listening to everything, and her heart broke upon hearing the words of the desperate mother. "I don't know what to do," the child's mother said, her voice choked with pain. "My daughter needs this treatment. I would do anything at all." The words echoed in Emily's mind as she sat at her desk. She knew that money was a difficult obstacle to overcome, but something inside her told her that she should do something. She didn't know exactly what, but she knew that her help could make a difference. She wasn't rich, didn't have great resources, but she had a fixed salary, something that could, in some way, help alleviate that child's suffering. Without thinking twice, Emily made a radical decision. She grabbed her bag, took out her paycheck, and looked at the amount printed on it. It was her salary for the month, and with it, she supported her daily expenses. But at that moment, in a surge of compassion, she made a choice that would change her life forever. With the determination of someone who knows what they are doing, Emily stood up and walked to Clara's mother's room. She was nervous, but her heart was resolute. When she entered the room, Clara's mother looked at her in surprise. "Can I help you in any way?" Emily asked with a gentle smile. The woman, still anguished, looked at her with tear-red eyes. "I don't know what to do anymore," she said, hopeless. "I don't know how I'm going to get the money to pay for this." Emily took a deep breath, pulled out the envelope with her salary, and, without hesitation, handed it to the woman. "I want to help," she said, her voice calm but filled with emotion. "Here it is. It's all I can offer. Maybe it's what you need." Clara's mother was stunned. She looked at the money in her hands, her eyes filling with tears. You would really do this?" she asked, almost in disbelief. "But this is all you have." Emily smiled, but her heart was racing in her chest. "I know, but it's what I can do, and I want to help. Please, use this for Clara." The woman looked at her, deeply touched by Emily's generosity. With a sincere expression of gratitude, she thanked her, not knowing how else to express her appreciation. "God bless you, dear." Emily felt happy for having made that decision, but she couldn't imagine what would come next. She knew that the money wasn't enough to guarantee Clara's recovery, but at least she had given the girl's mother a chance to fight for her daughter. The next day, Emily returned to the hospital with a mix of feelings. She didn't expect anything in return, but she knew she had done the right thing. What she didn't know was that fate was about to surprise her unexpectedly. While on her shift, Emily received a message from her friend who worked at the hospital's main reception. "Emily, you need to see this. There's someone here for you." Confused, Emily went to the reception. When she arrived, an unexpected scene awaited her. Taylor Swift, the famous singer, was at the hospital. She was on a mission to promote a charitable cause, and during her visit, she heard Emily's story and her donation. Surprised and touched by Emily's gesture, Taylor decided to give back in a surprising way. "I heard about what you did," Taylor said with a friendly smile. "You did something incredible, something few people would have the courage to do. I want to give you something in return." Emily was speechless. She didn't know how to react. She had only done what she felt was right, and now she was face to face with one of the biggest stars in the world. But Taylor didn't stop there. She handed Emily a golden envelope, and upon opening it, Emily found a personal letter from Taylor, accompanied by a generous donation to help her continue to help others. "I believe you have a huge heart," Taylor wrote, "and I want to give you the opportunity to do even more. Use this to keep helping, to inspire others. The world needs more people like you." Emily, in shock, read the letter several times, unable to believe what was happening. Her life was changing before her eyes. She had never imagined that by donating a salary to a sick child, she would be rewarded in such a profound way. But that was exactly what had happened. Over time, Clara received the necessary treatment and began to improve, while Emily continued her selfless journey, always helping those around her. She knew that her life had changed forever, not because of money or rewards, but because she had chosen to make a difference. She understood that small actions can create big impacts, and this life lesson was etched in her heart. Emily never forgot what had happened that day. She continued to work at the hospital, but now with an even greater mission: to spread love and hope. She had learned that sometimes the true reward comes not from what you receive, but from what you give. And so, Emily's story spread as an inspiration to all those who believe that, even in the most difficult situations, a simple act of kindness can transform lives. The world, she realized, still had room for much more generosity. Sometimes the rewards we need the most do not come from where we expect, but from where we least imagine. Emily, a simple hospital worker, became an example of how kindness, even in the most challenging moments, can change lives in ways we could never foresee. If you believe that acts of kindness can change the world, share this story and inspire more people to spread love and generosity. It doesn't matter the size of the gesture, the impact can be enormous.